There are two kinds of car owners: those who panic when something breaks, and those who fix it with a zip tie, a lighter, and a $7 spray. This video breaks down 20 hacks that have saved drivers thousands, quietly. The best part? Each one saves more than the last, and you'll want them all. This first one's the $7 secret that mechanics rarely mention. Number 20. Clean your MAF sensor to fix a rough idle. If your check engine light is on and the code says your engine is running lean, don't panic. Before replacing sensors or tearing into the fuel system, try this first. Clean your MAF sensor. The mass airflow sensor sits between your air filter and throttle body. It tells your car's computer how much air is coming in, so it can add the right amount of fuel. But when it gets coated in dust or oil residue, it misreads the air volume, making the car run lean. That triggers codes like P0171, poor mileage, or even a failed smog test. The fix? Unplug the sensor, spray it with MAF cleaner, never brake cleaner, and let it dry. One Toyota 4Runner owner did this and went from failing emissions to a perfect pass. Another said it made their Maxima feel 10 years younger. A can of cleaner costs $7. A new sensor can run over $250. This hack takes 10 minutes, requires zero tools, and could instantly solve a frustrating problem. Number 19. Patch a cracked oil pan with $10 epoxy. A cracked oil pan usually means one thing: a fat repair bill. But a lot of DIYers are skipping the shop and reaching for a $10 tube of JB Weld. This two-part epoxy, mixed and applied right, can seal small cracks in aluminum oil pans and hold for months or even years. It cures rock hard, resists over 500 degrees, and bonds right to the metal. The trick? Prep is everything. You've got to degrease, rough up the surface, and let it cure fully. Some guys even warm it overnight to speed hardening. One Volkswagen owner said his JB Weld patch held strong for 120,000 miles. Others report no leaks, even after long highway runs. Considering a new pan plus labor can cost $300, $500, this hack turns a scary problem into a weekend win. It's not forever, but if you're stuck or just need time, this little fix might save your engine and your wallet. Not every fix needs a gasket or a torque spec. Sometimes it just takes a screw and a little faith. Number 18. Seal a cracked coolant tank with a screw. If your coolant overflow tank cracks, it usually means spending $150 on a new one or risking an overheated engine. But here's a weird little fix that actually works. Drill a pilot hole into the crack and screw in a small panhead screw with a dab of gasket sealant. Because these plastic tanks aren't under full engine pressure, the screw acts like a plug, pulling the crack shut and sealing it up. One Honda owner did this with a 030 screw and drove through summer heat without a single drip. Another used a roofing screw with a built-in rubber washer, held tight for 6 months. Even mechanics admit it's not permanent, but when you're stuck with a slow leak and a long drive ahead, this trick buys time. Just keep an eye on the coolant level and replace the tank when you can. It's a clever way to stop a meltdown, literally, with a screw from your toolbox. Before we move on, tap subscribe, because most drivers miss these tricks until it's too late. We're here to make sure you're not most drivers. Number 17. Zip tie your bumper back in place for under $1. Broke your bumper? Before you shell out $1,000 for a body shop fix, grab a drill and some zip ties. This hack's called the drifter's stitch. You drill holes on both sides of the crack and lace it up with zip ties like you're sewing plastic. Add a few on the inside, snip the tails, and from a few feet away, you'd never know it wasn't OEM. One commuter held their cracked bumper together this way for over a year, through highway runs, rain, and summer heat. Factory replacement bumpers can cost $300, $600, plus paint and labor. A bag of black zip ties? $4. It's surprisingly strong too. Nylon ties have solid tension strength and hold firm under wind and road vibration. It may not impress a car show judge, but for everyday drivers, this hack's a lifesaver and a budget win. The next fix won't hold your bumper, but it might stop your windshield from splitting in two. Number 16. Stop a windshield crack with nail polish. Got a rock chip in your windshield? Here's a cheap trick that can keep it from turning into a full-blown crack. Just dab in some clear nail polish. That polish seeps into the chip, hardens, and seals the edges so moisture and dirt don't get in. It won't replace a pro resin repair, but for tiny chips, it's surprisingly effective. One driver on Reddit said his temporary fix with polish held for 2 years through rain and snow. A new windshield can cost $300. A bottle of clear polish? Maybe $5, and you probably already have it. Super glue works too, but nail polish flexes better in hot or cold weather. It won't fix a spreading crack, but it can stop one from starting. And when you're on the road or in the middle of winter, that tiny brush might just buy you months before needing a real repair. Number 15, fix a sluggish seatbelt with silicone spray. If your seatbelt doesn't snap back like it used to, or just kind of droops there, don't rush to replace the whole assembly just yet. A quick blast of dry silicone spray on the belt and retractor track can bring it back to life. The spray reduces friction in the nylon webbing and frees up the mechanism. One Reddit user said their belt no longer needed assistance after a $10 can of fabric-safe silicone. No tools, no teardown. Dealers often charge $200 or more to replace sticky belts, but this trick, you can do it in 5 minutes. Just clean the belt first with mild soap, let it dry, and then spray both sides lightly. Skip oil-based sprays like WD-40, they attract gunk. Plenty of DIYers say the fix lasts months, even years. It's one of those little jobs that feels like magic, cheap, fast, and it actually works. If $10 can fix your seatbelt, wait till you see what might save your entire engine. Number 14, use coolant stop leak to delay a costly head gasket job. If your car's losing coolant and starting to overheat, it might be a head gasket, aka one of the most dreaded repairs you can face. But before you tear down the engine, there's a last-ditch hack that might buy you time. Coolant stop leak. Products like K-Seal or Blue Devil circulate through the cooling system and can seal tiny cracks in the head gasket or engine block. One driver used it in an old Honda Element and drove leak-free for 8 months. Another swore it gave his Mercedes 20 more horsepower just by stopping coolant compression. It's not a permanent fix. Mechanics warn it can gum up the radiator or heater core, but for a dying engine or tight budget, a $20 bottle can stretch your timeline by months, maybe more. When the alternative is a $2,000 rebuild, this trick can feel like a miracle in a can. Use it smart and you just might cheat the breakdown. Number 13, fix an exhaust leak with a band clamp. If your muffler's sounding like a lawnmower, you might be picturing a $200 repair or worse. But there's a simple, no-weld hack that can silence the problem for under 20 bucks. It's called a band clamp. Just clean the rusty area, smear on some high-temp exhaust sealant, and tighten the clamp over the leak. One driver patched a split muffler this way and said the noise vanished instantly. No welding, no shop visit, just a snug metal wrap and done. Shops might charge hundreds for an exhaust patch or replacement. A stainless steel band clamp, about $15, and it actually lasts. Many drivers run them for years with no issues. It's not permanent, but it's strong, quick, and cheap. If your exhaust's leaking and you're not ready to commit to a full replacement, this hack will buy you time and your sanity. Silence is golden, but the next one keeps your battery from going dead silent. Number 12, grease your battery terminals to stop corrosion cold. If your battery posts get that crusty white buildup, it's not just ugly, it's stealing your power. That corrosion adds resistance, makes starting harder, and can even kill your battery early. The fix? Just clean the terminals and smear a thin layer of grease on the posts and clamps. Dielectric grease is best, but even Vaseline or lithium grease works in a pinch. It seals out moisture and acid vapors, the stuff that causes oxidation in the first place. Mechanics do this all the time. One battery tech said it straight. No air between the post and clamp, no corrosion. A $5 tube of grease can literally add years to your battery's life. Plenty of drivers swear by it. One RV owner claimed she got 5 extra years out of her batteries just by greasing the posts. It's one of those hacks that feels too simple, but it just works. Number 11, spray silicone on strut mounts to silence that front end creak. If your car creaks like a haunted house every time you turn or hit a bump, the culprit might be dry strut mount bushings. And the hack? Just spray a little silicone lube. Yes, really. Most McPherson struts have rubber or bearing mounted tops that dry out over time. A quick blast of silicone lubricant, safe for rubber, unlike WD-40, can soak in and instantly quiet down the squeak. One driver hit the tops of his struts through the engine bay and said the thunk vanished on the next drive. Shops will often suggest replacing the whole strut mount, which can cost $150 or more per corner. But this spray and go trick can get you months of silence for about $5. It's not permanent, but it works and feels feels like magic the first time your car goes silent. Just don't forget to reapply when it starts talking again. Now that your car rides silent, let's help it see clearly too.
Number 10. Clean your wipers with alcohol instead of replacing them.
If your wipers are streaking but the rubber looks fine, don't toss them. Clean them. A quick wipe with rubbing alcohol can strip off road grime, wax, and oxidation that causes smearing. Just soak a paper towel or microfiber in isopropyl alcohol and run it along the blade edge. You'll probably see black gunk come off, and the blades will wipe like new again. Plenty of drivers swear by this. One Tacoma owner said his wipers were still original from 2013, just cleaned every season. Another fixed annoying streaks with a single wipe and saved $30–50. This only takes a minute, and it works on nearly any car. It won't fix cracked or torn rubber, but if your blades are just dirty, this trick can extend their life for months. Seriously, try it before you spend on new ones. You'll be surprised how well it works. Number 9. Use hand sanitizer to defog headlights. If your headlights look foggy but you're not ready to break out a full restoration kit, try this. Rub a little alcohol-based hand sanitizer on the lens. It sounds weird, but it works. Hand sanitizer is usually 60–70% isopropyl alcohol, which cuts through haze, film, and grime that builds up on plastic lenses. It won't fix deep oxidation, but for light cloudiness, the difference can be noticeable in minutes. One driver wiped down a yellowed lens on a 2002 Odyssey and said the yellowing almost disappeared. Not perfect, but way better than before, and it lasted a few days. It's not a long-term fix, but it's basically free, takes under a minute, and might get you through an inspection or a night drive safely. Just make sure to use the clear, unscented stuff and wipe it off well after. It's a tiny trick with big visibility gains. Next one doesn't clean, but it might save your tires from shredding. Number 8. Align your wheels with string instead of paying. If your car pulls to one side or your tires are wearing weirdly, your wheel alignment's probably off, and shops will gladly charge you $100 or more to fix it. But here's a DIY trick that costs almost nothing. Use string. Wrap string around all 4 tires or stretch it between jack stands to create a reference line. Then, measure the gap between the string and the front of each tire. Compare that to the back gap. If the numbers aren't equal, your toe is off. Adjust the tie rods until both sides match. It sounds crude, but many drivers swear by it. A Tacoma owner fixed a pull using just string and a tape measure. The trick mimics how alignment machines work, just way slower and cheaper. It's not perfect, but it's accurate enough to stop pulling and save your tires, with nothing more than a laundry line. Number 7. The coat hanger. Fix that saves your muffler. If your muffler hanger breaks, the exhaust can start dragging or banging under the car. The quick fix? Grab a metal coat hanger. Just bend the wire into a loop, hook it around the pipe, and secure it to a frame rail or bracket. That makeshift sling can hold the muffler safely off the ground until you get a proper rubber hanger. Drivers have pulled this off roadside with nothing but a hanger from the trunk. One guy even made it to a college exam with his muffler hanging on dry cleaning wire. It's free, takes 5 minutes, and actually works. Sure, it's not permanent, but it keeps your car drivable and saves a tow or $100 shop visit. For a $0 fix, it's shockingly reliable. Just remember to swap in the real part once you get home. Next one's for the people who've had enough of that mysterious evap code. Number 6. Use a zip tie to outsmart evap codes. Got a check engine light for an evap leak? Before spending $300+ on a new charcoal canister, try this clever workaround. Zip tie your gas tank's vent hose to a safe spot under the car and let it breathe. Many DIYers simply reroute the vent line away from the exhaust, attach a tiny vapor filter, and secure it with a zip tie. That open-air setup tricks the system into thinking everything's sealed, and poof, the code vanishes. It costs nearly nothing, takes minutes, and works surprisingly well. A 240SX owner ran this setup for years after deleting his emission system. One Explorer driver zip-tied his vent near the muffler and hasn't seen a code since. Yeah, it's technically bypassing emissions, but for beaters or off-road rigs, it's a hack that saves you hundreds and keeps the car drivable without a trip to the dealer. Number 5. Turn your wipers into RainX dispensers. Here's a weird but genius RainX trick most people miss. Don't just wipe it on your windshield. Soak your wiper blades in it. Pop the blades off and let the rubber edge sit in a shallow tray of RainX for about 5 minutes. That soak lets the blades absorb the repellent. When you reinstall them, every swipe reapplies a thin layer of RainX onto the glass. One detailer swears his windshield stayed clear for 2 straight months of Seattle rain using this method, without reapplying anything to the glass. Just don't overdo it. A light soak works best. Too much can cause streaking, and make sure your glass is clean first. The result? Longer-lasting water beading, better visibility, and fewer recoats. You're basically turning your wipers into self-refreshing RainX pads. Pretty slick, right? We just coated rubber. Next up, we're sealing tiny pins to silence mystery faults. Number 4, stop random sensor codes with clear nail polish. If your car's throwing random sensor codes, like a flaky MAF or oxygen sensor, it might not be the part. It could just be corroded pins in the connector. And here's the weird fix: clear nail polish. On older cars, especially VWs, Subarus, and GMs, moisture sneaks into harness connectors. Over time, that causes tiny oxidation layers that throw off voltage readings. One DIYer cured a lean code on a 2001 Jetta just by cleaning and sealing the MAF pins with clear lacquer. The trick is applying a thin coat to exposed metal on the pin, never between mated contacts, since polish is an insulator. Once cured, it forms a barrier that blocks water, air, and vibration-induced corrosion. It's not permanent, but it's cheap, fast, and often works like magic. Just don't use it near high heat spots or KN bus lines. Professionals prefer dielectric grease or Deox IT, but for a $5 fix that cures mystery faults, this one's a go-to. Number 3, clear foggy marker lights with toothpaste. If your side markers or turn signals are starting to haze over, don't rush to buy new ones. Grab some toothpaste. A bit of white toothpaste rubbed in small circles on the plastic lens acts like a light polish. It buffs out surface oxidation and brings back that factory clear look. People have pulled this off with nothing but a rag and elbow grease and seen real improvement in minutes. It won't fix deep yellowing or last forever, but for $0, it can delay a $50 light replacement. One Toyota driver said her side markers looked noticeably brighter after a quick toothpaste rub. The trick's been around forever, and yeah, it's temporary, but if you're selling a car or just need a quick refresh, it's a satisfying little win. Just don't try it on glass. It's strictly for plastic lenses. Before we get to the craziest fix on this list, here's one that just saved someone from a $1,200 sunroof bill. Number 2, unfreeze a sunroof without cracking the glass. If your sunroof's frozen shut and won't budge, don't force it. That's how you end up with torn seals or a burnt-out motor that'll cost $500+ to fix. Instead, grab a Ziploc bag, fill it with lukewarm water around 45 to 50 degrees, and gently press it along the sunroof edges. The warm bag melts the ice through the plastic, just enough to soften the seal. You're basically creating a DIY heat pack without risking a thermal shock to the glass. It's the same principle used by pros with infrared tools, but this one costs you nothing. Just move the bag slowly around the perimeter, 15 to 20 seconds per spot. Once the seal loosens, you can safely slide the roof open. No damage, no cracked glass. A frozen sunroof can turn into a $200 repair. This trick? Free and fast. Number 1, use WD-40 to free a frozen fuel door. If your gas flap ever freezes shut on a cold morning, don't force it. Just grab a can of WD-40. Spray it directly onto the latch or hinge area. Let it sit for a minute and gently work the release open. WD-40 drives out moisture and dissolves ice instantly. One golf owner called it your best friend after it saved him from missing a refill on a freezing day. It's not a permanent fix. WD-40 evaporates, but it'll get you out of a jam fast. Some folks follow up with silicone spray or lithium grease to keep things moving longer term. For around $5, you're saving yourself the hassle of a shop visit or risking a broken fuel door actuator. Especially in winter climates, it's one of those low-effort, high-reward tricks that'll make you feel like a cold-weather genius. These hacks saved you thousands. Now let one can do even more. Our next video reveals 11 WD-40 fixes even mechanics use. Click now and keep your car out of the shop.